time. I don't know. What is it about Blue Sky Giant that we just
Look at
trying?
Look at this Jackie Chan movie. Look at this Battlestar Galactica. I fell asleep.
I want to watch Transformers 2.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wednesday Night Gentlemen, the Multimedia Empire official podcast. This is episode number 21. On this show, we talk about comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, and sometimes, but not very often, political discourse. I am your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
Hi, Midget Radio. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Tactic Angel, how are you?
I'm okay. To go back to our conversation last week, I would like to say, even if I had the opportunity, I would not remove the jingling sound from these podcasts. I feel like it helps set the tone.
It kind of classes it up, maybe a little bit.
I agree. What do you got today?
I'm back to the 12-year Glenlivet. There's just, I'm just going to say it. There's just not a better scotch. There's just not. I'm sorry.
There is.
That's where I am on it, though. There's not. It's the smoothest scotch I have ever had.
You would take that over like Suntory Toki, which I realize is made in Japan, but it's basically a scotch.
I definitely would. Yeah, I definitely would.
Ooh.
I haven't come across a better scotch. The only competition I feel like is the 12-year Macallan. But that's a bolder scotch, I feel. Glenlivet is perfect for just laid back, just a nice, smooth scotch.
I got you. Hey, you got to have your, I think they call it a daily drinking scotch, but I don't think that you need to drink it daily.
No. But yeah, you could.
Just an everyday scotch. I get
it would be real easy, I think, to drink it every day. But yeah.
I don't know. When it gets in the summer, I'm not as much of a whiskey drinker.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of hibernate. It needs to be a little bit cooler because it's the burning.
Yeah, okay. I can see that.
It's like a, campfire in a glass.
I could see that. I guess I typically drink it with like 2 ice cubes, and I have moved to 3 now that it is warmer outside here in the desert.
I drink with a number of ice cubes that are proportional to the size of serving that I am giving myself.
Okay, I see.
So
that's good.
For a
Maintain
podcast, which can't possibly seem to go under an hour.
Done it.
And then I need at least 56 minutes.
Yeah,
I need at least 3 ice cubes.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a podcast, and we do talk about things other than drinking.
We do.
So what we talk about today is we will be talking about Marvel Heroes Omega, the semi-new game coming to the PS4 and I think probably also Xbox One, as well as MST3K, The Revival.
The Revival, The Return,
Isn't it?
I can't remember if it's Revival or Return. I honestly can't remember.
That's fine. First, we're going to start with Marvel Heroes, though. Marvel Heroes Omega is a console port of an already up and running PC game called Marvel Heroes. Marvel Heroes launched in 2013, claims Brian Michael Bendis as its writer.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, it kind of makes sense having done that 2 minutes of research. Why it is the way it is when Brian Michael Bendis is the writer. Anyway, so it's an isometric beat 'em up featuring dozens of the greatest superheroes of all time.
The X-Men.
The game is the game is created by Gazillion Entertainment and Secret Identity Studios, which, as far as I can tell, has never made anything before in their life.
Good for them.
Maybe maybe not even a decent cup of coffee, which sounds like an indie title.
Yeah, probably is already.
Opening thoughts. Oh yeah, can you imagine it? It's probably like by some like Swedish developer, and they're like, yes, you're working on your profession as a barista. You want to get up to that $12 an hour salary.
Yep.
All right, Marvel Heroes.
Marvel Heroes.
First impressions. What do you like about this game?
I like that I can play it with my friend Tactic Angel.
Yeah, you could do a lot of things. You could play World of Tanks with me.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. But no, it's good. I mean, it plays it feels exactly like Diablo. Even the money, like even I was noticing when they drop, coins, it's like identical to Diablo 3.
There is without the coins, do you think that this would feel like an Ultimate Alliance game?
I guess
Ultimate Alliance didn't have any loot.
Yeah, it really didn't. Just whatever those little like tokens are, and obviously health and energy. But yeah, no, with this you get armor, all that kind of shit, all those upgrades, and I guess you get some of that too with the Ultimate Alliance game. So I mean, I guess they are really similar. The only thing is that you can't really pick your own team. You're just kind of with whoever joins up with you, I guess.
So were you playing this without us?
I have not played it without you guys at all. No.
Okay. So I did a little bit in part to get a little bit more familiar with like the economy and also how different characters play.
Okay.
I personally think like one of the great things about this game is that it fills a void that was left by Ultimate Alliance and X-Men Legends.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I feel. I mean, and it's like the only, I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, it's the only fucking Marvel superhero game that's current and that's that's even out right now. I don't know what's wrong with their video game development, but yeah, it's depressing.
I don't know, after like Iron Man 1 and 2, and those games were not very good.
Yeah.
They weren't unplayable,
right.
But they were what you would expect with a movie to video game fare. Passable at best.
Yeah.
Clunky and like not fully baked because they had to get it out within, the right time period when the movie comes out, and had almost nothing to do with the movie. I mean, that's where Batman really nails it.
Yeah.
Like Batman can make things, and then Arkham Asylum's over here, and they're two separate things, but they both feed into one another.
Totally.
Maybe in the next Arkham movie, it'll be a first-person shooter, and Batman can just fucking waste everybody.
Well, I'd play it, so.
Anyway, no, we're not going to complain about that movie. I am not going to. I'm not even going to mention that that's about a movie that I want to complain about. Brian Michael Bendis, what has he written? Who is he? Is he an important person in comic books?
I think he's written one or two things. I'm aware of one or two things that he has written. Yeah, he's kind of a big deal.
Yes,
he's kind of a big deal. I think he wrote. No, I think that was Mark Millar who wrote the original Civil War run. But I think Bendis did Civil War 2 recently. But I mean, he's been everywhere. He was a huge hit for a long time in Marvel Comics, kind of credited a little bit with revitalizing the Avengers line originally, I think. And then he had a really long run on Avengers, was responsible for like House of M, Decimation, all of that stuff. Took over the X-Men for a little while, and a run that really, at the end of the day, I don't really think it was actually all that bad. But obviously, I popularized Jessica Jones. Is I think a big part of the reason why she had a series on Netflix, because his Max series was a pretty big deal for that character. So yeah, I mean, he's had an enormous impact on Marvel Comics. So he's very much a name, with that company.
Yeah.
As far as the quality of his stuff, I would say overall it is hit and miss. A huge deal with Spider-Man too. I mean, just massive. The Ultimate Spider-Man, his run on Ultimate Spider-Man was just huge. I think he was the one who created Miles Morales too. The sort of Ultimate Spider-Man, the guy who took over after I think Peter Parker died in the Ultimate Universe, and now Miles is in the regular 616 Marvel Universe. So I just, yeah, you can't really. It'd be difficult to measure the impact that he's had on Marvel Comics because it's been enormous.
Big name, and as such, with such a long repertoire, he does kind of fully embrace the universe. Like this isn't a game that was farmed out to some company, and then they just had a couple of people read comic books and then try to write something.
Yeah,
this is made by a comic book writer, love him or not.
You know, I mean, certainly some people have a lot of issues with Bendis, his dialogue being one of them. But you know, at the end of the day, though, I feel like characters like Tony Stark. I mean, he had a really good run with Iron Man that was legitimately good. I actually did not like Jessica Jones at all. But I never really read much of his Avengers stuff because I don't give a shit. But his run on X-Men really wasn't bad. He's responsible for the fact that the X-Men from the 60s, the original team, Teen Cyclops, Teen Iceman, Teen Jean Grey, he's the reason they're still here in the Marvel 616 in the current day universe. That was his plot line, and they've and as terrible as that idea seemed at the time, it's actually been more or less interesting. I'm kind of ready for them to go back home, but yeah, I mean, he's not. I would say overall, he's not bad. He gets a lot of shit for some of his dialogue. A lot of his characters sound the same. He's a big fan of banter, and your mileage may vary with a lot of his writing on that. But I would say overall, I mean, he's a pretty decent steward of the Marvel heroes. I don't think he does anything overly offensive. Yes, there are examples. There are definitely some examples of some things he's had certain characters say that are cringeworthy, but overall, I'd say, you know, he's fairly capable. I don't have a big problem with him.
You think that he'd do a lot better with a mouthy character like a Deadpool, like a Tony Stark, like a Spider-Man, as opposed to maybe like X-23,
right?
Who doesn't,
which is one of the
usually
him
talk
X-23 and his characterization of X-23 and actually his characterization of Doctor Doom are probably the two prime examples of Bendis kind of privileging his style of dialogue and writing over that of the characters. So I mean, I get it. A lot of people will complain that when Bendis is writing, the character, he doesn't really feel all that true to the characters sometimes, and it's true depending on which characters you're talking about. But still, I mean, overall, nothing too majorly offensive. I don't know where most people fall with comic book writing, but all I ever look for is it decent? Like, is it moderately decent? And I would say Bendis is at least that. So, because there are bad writers even in comics.
Comic books are kind of insane and a genre unto themselves in terms of, because like most of that stuff, if you translate it straight to screen, would be what?
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
It's madness.
Well, you see, like six years ago.
That's how it is. Yeah. It's
other things about this, I really enjoyed the cutscenes.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I would say on average that the character models in the game are a little below average.
Yeah.
Or at least most of them, though they do hold up from kind of the default angle, the isometric view. You really don't realize it until you're like up in their face, or you're like looking at the character select. You're like, that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Cutscenes in this are actually hand drawn and then sort of animated. If you've seen any of the Marvel books that have been animated,
Yeah,
I know they
Astonishing
did one.
X-Men.
Yeah. It's basically a lot like that.
Yeah.
Where there will be effects, and for the most part, it's the cells, and they just like shift them around and add dialogue over them.
Yeah.
Pretty slick.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, it's fun. Like, it's enjoyable running around as Marvel characters and having so many to choose from. And I love how many costumes they've included for each of the characters, because as you know, I've been playing Magic, and I fucking love her Marvel Now costume with the giant like Final Fantasy VII sword. I love running around with that thing. But it's cool to see that they've included Cyclops is Marvel Now, the all black. I like seeing that that's in there. That's a fairly recent development, and it's cool to be able to run around in that costume, and including things like the Phoenix 5 outfits. It's just nice. I don't know. I was a little disappointed that Storm only had 2 costumes to choose from, one that I didn't really recognize, and then her classic sort of black and yellow outfit. I would like to see a Mohawk punk rock Storm version as well,
or the 80s.
Yeah, that or the 90s. Any of that would be cool. That just reminds me, I didn't see Dazzler as a playable character either. That would be fun to see, both 70s era, 80s. Kind of, I don't know why every time I see her 80s costume, I kind of associate with her with an aerobics instructor. That would be fun to play as, and then Punk Rock Dazzler would be fun too. But yeah, I mean, that's like that to me. That's kind of the thing that's the most fun about the game is the costumes, the characters you get to play. Some of the power sets are pretty cool. I like Magic's power sets a lot. I like that her level 60 unlock is the Dark Child. I'm super excited to get there, and that's the reason that she's the only character that I'm playing right now. But yeah.
Okay, well, right now there are around 30 characters, I want to say, in the game, which is impressive.
Yeah.
But I think on PC right now they have very close to, if not exceeding 100.
That's insane. That's just insane.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And I think this is actually, I mean, what makes it interesting is each of the characters does play differently, because after like I played a lot of War Machine. I went back and I played Iron Man, and Iron Man plays largely different.
That's cool.
And I mean, Iron Man and War Machine, you're thinking that really they ought to play pretty similar. Granted, there's a missile launcher on the back of War Machine's
right.
back, and I'm not sure when he picked up chainsaws, but maybe that's more of a modern.
No idea.
I don't know. I had like the first 12 episode or issues of War Machine back in the 90s. I think I still own them.
That's cool.
I don't remember chainsaws. I don't. I could be wrong. Anything else that you liked about this?
I like that every character they've added sort of voiceover dialogue for. I enjoy that a lot. That's been really cool. So I like hearing Ileana talk about her brother Colossus. That's just fun. It just kind of brings a little bit more life. I would say, I mean, like, for me, and I mean, I would extend this to Diablo, so this may be kind of an unpopular opinion, but the gameplay itself is it's pretty straightforward. I would say it's nothing really to write home about. It's basically just button mashing. But But I mean, other than that, the presentation is really fun. I wonder if it benefits from the fact that it's still basically the only Marvel superheroes game, and it's as close as I can get to playing a current version of the X-Men in video game form. So there is that.
I think unquestionably that plays to its advantage.
Yeah.
I do have several bullet points here for minor gripes and more substantive concerns.
Okay.
One of which was actually, like, you play through the game and at least chapter 1 is not challenging.
No. No. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can, like, there are 5 difficulty levels, and like obviously you start at difficulty level 1, but like in order to get difficulty level 2, you have to be like pretty significantly into the game. You have to go through a certain challenge to even do the second. And it's like, I would like to die occasionally.
To at least be concerned about it. Yeah. I mean, I guess there was at least one time when my health actually got pretty low and I sort of ran away from a battle. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel that way a little bit with playing Diablo 3. I mean, that was a game that I didn't beat. I just didn't finish it. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, you're just kind of barreling through enemies. Sometimes you need to take a break to rest, but I mean, overall, it's pretty easy to manage your character. I would say with Diablo, though, I know people like getting loot, but that's one of the things that just irritated the shit out of me after a while. It's like there's just too much stuff. There's just too much.
There's a lot of stuff. I don't mind the amount of stuff because most of it you can ignore. Like,
yeah,
like if you're already wearing like blue gear and it uses the color-coded tier system, and you see white loot dropping, you know that it's not going to be worth your time unless you want like 8 coins for it or whatever.
Trying to save up, but
yeah. I guess some of the stuff that I was looking around, running around Shield headquarters costs like 250,000.
Wow.
You're like, ooh, that's probably late in the game.
Yeah. I think I would just spend all my money on characters. I'm just unlocking characters.
But that's different. That's a different thing.
Is it different? I haven't really figured that out.
You want to pick up the Infinity Shards. So Infinity Shards can be used to purchase characters without spending actual money. Okay. The characters range between 200 and 600 Infinity Shards. I think for playing the game, they give you 400, so you can definitely do at least one character. And then you pick up some during the course of the game. It seems to be at a pretty slow pace. Because I went back and I was messing around. I played a little bit of Storm, and then I played some Scarlet Witch. I played Iron Man, which I said before. I played the Punisher, who is really
fun. Cool. That's awesome. It was cool to see him in the game. I was kind of excited about that.
I was a little worried after I played Cyclops. Cyclops was like boring to play.
Yeah, I would assume just energy beam, you know.
Pew pew pew
different
pew, pew.
Different ways to shoot. All right.
The Punisher's more fun because his MP is bullets.
Okay.
And he has an ability that like you can press every 30 seconds, which recharges all of his bullets.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
That's interesting. It was fun, and he just mows people.
That's fun.
To that end, I think it's going to be hard for people to play this as a free-to-play game for any length of time. And I'm not sure if the rate of Infinity Shards dropping is a little bit higher, the deeper into the story you get.
Yeah.
Because we only played through the first chapter, and there are like 10, 12 chapters.
Yeah, that was all Hell's Kitchen, right? I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And then like the next ones are all kind of X-Men related, which doesn't surprise me because the X-Men have the best shit. I mean, it's just, that's just how it is. That's just how it is, Tactic Angel, and that's how it's always going to be. But
I can't wait to get out of the fucking Spider-Man villain after Spider-Man villain.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope, God, there's such a, I hope you get to, I would assume, I mean, you just have to see like certainly more X-Men villains, Avengers villains, I guess. But certainly the Red Skull is somewhere in there. But I can't imagine not fighting Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister, Magneto. I mean,
yeah, and we know that like MODOK's coming. MODOK is kind of an Avengers.
Yeah, yeah. MODOK's ridiculous. He's pretty fun though.
He is both of those things. He is a giant floating dwarf man.
They must have a Mojo verse, right? How could they not have a fucking Mojo verse in this game?
I hope they do. I hope they do. It is fun though, like even as I'm complaining about having to fight Spider-Man villains, and Spider-Man and his villains are some of the lamest things in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I'm sure opinions vary on that, but god damn it. I mean, Green Goblin, I don't give a shit. Shocker is completely boring. I mean, Venom I can get behind, but he's practically a good guy now. So
living laser.
That's depressing. Doc Octopus, whatever.
I have 8 hands.
God.
I have actually 2 feet, 2 hands, and 4 mechanical arm
cares.
pincers.
Does Spider-Man have the worst rogues gallery in the Marvel universe, would you say?
They all have one thing to do, right? They're all like, I am evil. I was exposed to a thing.
I rob banks.
And then I rob a bank.
They all kind of coalesced around that particular crime.
I have 8 arms. I should go rob a bank. Like, I get it why the Rhino robs banks.
Sure.
Like, there's not a lot of finesse there, and he probably wouldn't have trouble with the lock. But, like, Doc Ock is like a nuclear physicist.
Right, you're a scientist.
He should be able to, like...
run around with bags
like,
of
sit
money.
at home, and I suppose he could code at 3 times the speed of a normal person because he has 6 hands, essentially. He writes a program that allows him to quickly short and sell things on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's completely
legal. Totally legal. Yeah, I guess he got into science for the money. I'm guessing that was his motivation. Like these scientists, fucking, they get all the bank.
Right? Don't need all this. Anyway. So like I was kind of going into some of my more substantive things. Like this. Well, let me say this is minor gripe. Iron Man costs 600 Infinity Shards.
Okay.
And the ones that cost 600 Infinity Shards appear to cost 600 Infinity Shards purely because they are relatively popular.
Yeah.
Like all of the X-Men, 400.
Yeah.
Obviously because they're going to kill off all the X-Men and get rid of them.
Yep, that's why I bought the X-Men pack at $60 because I want Marvel to understand that they can make money with the X-Men.
Fantastic. I bought the cheapest one, which was War Machine at $16. Strangely, you cannot play War Machine unless you buy that pack.
Oh, really? There's no other way to get him? That's interesting.
Apparently not. Enigma told me afterwards, like, there's no way to play.
That's weird.
And like, War Machine's kind of neat.
Yeah. I remember you
playing. The little gun on his back shooting on its own.
That's pretty cool.
Sometimes it starts engaging people at a range where it's like, I don't actually want to, I was just going to run past him.
War Machine, he's kind of a shoot first guy anyway, so.
Yeah, it's a little unfair. You've never read any of his books.
No, I don't give a shit about War Machine. Nobody does.
That's not completely true.
Tax
Like
angel giant
40
robots. Jesus Christ.
he is a black man in a suit.
Robots.
Okay, so for a free-to-play game, I think this is a potentially very expensive proposition. The costumes, which you're not required to buy, but like it's gonna be there. It's gonna be like fucking candy.
Yeah.
Seem to cost somewhere between $5 or $6 to $10 each.
Well, that's insane. Okay.
So, like, particularly as an Iron Man fan, and rather expecting that we'll get more than just the 3 Iron Man.
He has a
models in
couple
there.
of variations, as far as I understand, throughout his history. Am I correct on that? There's a few more than one.
Yes. So like I expect that eventually we'll see like Iron Man model number 4, which is kind of the classic Iron Man that you saw introduced in Iron Man number 85. I expect that we'll see like the Mark 1 armor, either in its Marvel. They did a really good job with all of the stuff that they'd taken from the Marvel MCU, or just the MCU, since M stands for Marvel. I expect we'll either see the Mark 1 from there, or we'll see the Mark 1 from Tales of Suspense number 39.
The original suit, right? Okay.
Yeah. The gray. I'm a lead man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. There's stealth suits, Hulkbuster, space armor, there's underwater armor.
Wow, Hulkbuster would be pretty sweet to see.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be like $12.
Yeah.
Because it's you can charge more for it. Actually, they did a really good job of that in Avengers.
They did,
and almost nothing.
They
else
always do.
about
But
it.
they always do. God, the fucking costumes every time. They always do.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if I was gonna complain about something, I'd have to go down to like Quicksilver was not really
true. Okay, true. I think he had some lightning bolts. That was a pretty.
Yeah,
but then the Scarlet Witch.
Like
I love the Scarlet Witch's look.
Oh God, yeah.
Kind of makes a lot of sense. Joss Whedon, grunge girl. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. But still, looks great.
Like it. Looks great. Pretty much all of them look great. I mean, I don't think Vision looks great,
really?
But he looks great for Vision.
Yeah, I really like. I mean, yeah, for Vision, I really like. His
okay,
look. I think they
My problem with Vision is that he is a red person.
You don't like red people?
I like Native American, but I think to call them red people is a little much. I think like the full-on RGB 25500 person is a little much.
Great.
Red is not one of my favorite colors. He also wears green. Green is my least favorite color.
Really?
So
wow.
Yeah,
that's the color of
so
the
he's basically
bottle.
He is basically a completely red man wearing a Green Bay Packers superhero uniform, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And it just doesn't work.
Well, I have never heard Vision described that way, but
but now that I have,
yeah,
it makes you question.
I'll never get it out of my mind. I will always think Vision, red guy,
Green Bay Packers
fan.
Yep. Vision's not in the game currently. Whatever.
Huh, that's interesting. Weird.
I bet he's gonna be.
I
he's apparently a really popular character.
His well, I will say the book that I think Tom King is the writer. But that book is really good. The Vision solo series is really good. And I don't know if it's I think maybe it's concluded by now, but that is, I think, destined for an oversized hardcover. And they actually just released, Marvel just announced that they're going to do like a director's cut version of that book. That was a really good comic. That was probably the best. Like that was probably the most like genuinely legit good. Would appeal to, outside readers, people who don't typically read comics on a regular basis. That was actually a really good series. It was really fun.
Well, what I mean is, like, children walk out of the Avengers movies and they're like, I like Vision. And you're like, What?
I can see that. He's cool. I think Paul Bettany does a really good job with that character. So.
But he's still Vision.
Yeah, I know. It's Vision. I know. Vision.
Vision is the character who gets picked if someone has already picked Captain America, Iron Man, and Hawkeye. Yeah. If you're playing 4-player Captain America in the Avengers, Vision is there for the 4th player.
Got a little forehead laser. Forehead laser beam. Yeah.
It's too bad he's going to have to die.
Yeah.
Anyway. Unless he can live without his
they
brain.
got to rip that gem out of his face. So.
It's gonna be a little bit shocking.
Be a brutal scene. Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, you remember Magneto extracting the adamantine out? Way more watchable than this.
Much more graphic.
Anyway, so like I'm concerned about the amount of money that, like, if you were a hardcore fan, that you would have to spend on this game. That said, and I didn't say this earlier, I should have. The game is currently in beta. The only way you can play it is if you buy one of the Founders Packs. I think that it is due out on the 16th of next month or something like that.
May? Really? Okay, cool.
So we spent some money to play it early.
Yep.
You spent more than I did.
But I did. I don't feel the least bit bad about it.
Yeah, I had a feeling that you wouldn't.
Do you hear that, Marvel? I am fully ready to pay $60 for an X-Men video game, please. Jesus.
Ileana. They have Ileana.
She's amazing. And you can summon Hellhound. Like, God. Yes. So many of the things they chose for her powers make so much sense. Even when you teleport her, it looks like this sort of stepping disc teleporting that she uses. Because I don't know if you know this tactic, Angel, but basically when she teleports, she enters limbo temporarily and then appears back into, the 616. It's really exciting. It
is.
God, she's awesome. I love Ileana Rasputin, and she's going to be in New Mutants. Which actually I'm going to diverge for a minute here, but there are going to be, I think, 3 X-Men movies and 3 MCU movies next year, 2018. So we'll have New Mutants first in April, and then Deadpool 2, I think, in June or July, and then potentially X-Men Dark Phoenix later that year. And then Marvel Universe wise, I think we get Black Panther, Ant-Man and Wasp, and then Avengers Infinity War Part 1. It's going to be a busy year for the Wednesday Night Gentlemen.
I was actually thinking about springing that question on you, but since you brought it up, I'll ask you anyway. How do you feel about us doing the Dark Phoenix saga without there being a Phoenix saga?
I wish that there was a Phoenix. I really wish that it's difficult because it's a lot at once for the Dark Phoenix. Like, I mean, throughout the Phoenix saga, you have her kind of getting comfortable with this Phoenix Force power, which is all brand new to her, and then the slow manipulation by the Hellfire Club that kind of turns her into the Dark Phoenix a little bit, and then I'm gonna blow up this entire planet full of people, like 2 billion souls or whatever, kind of Jonathan Archer style, and then returning to Earth, having to deal with the Shi'ar Empire. Like, it's a lot of shit all at once to try to tackle in one movie, which means that, I just suspect we're not going to see the Shi'ar.
You're not going to see the Hellfire Club.
I don't think we'll see I don't think we'll see I'd be surprised if we see the Hellfire Club. So it's a little, I don't know.
They should just call it X-Men 3 Last Stand 2.
I don't know what to think about it. I don't know. I continue to attempt to reserve any judgment on it. Maybe it will end up being a 2-parter. That would be all right with me. I will say at the very least, With as somewhat disappointing and with as flawed as X-Men Apocalypse was, I do like this cast better than the original cast. I like Ty Sheridan as Cyclops. I like what's her face as Jean Grey. Like they all turned in pretty decent, pretty likable performances in Apocalypse. So at least, I mean, dealing with this cast, that's kind of a leg up for this upcoming movie. And the fact that Fox is certainly more willing to explore is more willing to get a little bit more comic booky in this stuff. I just hope that, I don't know. I feel like Apocalypse was bad because they shot it too quickly. I think if they had spent like another few months on the script, it would have been a pretty decent movie. Dark Phoenix feels like they're rushing it again a little bit, and I think it's going to suffer for it. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm actually more excited for the New Mutants movie and Deadpool 2 than I am for Dark Phoenix.
I almost shouldn't have asked. That was way more information than I wanted.
The other thing I wanted to say
great
that Ileana's going to be in New Mutants. I'm really excited for New Mutants. Yeah. Cable and Deadpool. How much more do you want to talk about this? Because Domino's going to be in there as well. That's really exciting. And I know New Mutants at least is going to focus on the Demon Bear saga, which should be pretty cool. It might have kind of a horror bent to it. So that'll be kind of interesting. A sort of superhero horror movie a little bit. But yeah, excited.
Are you done? You're done.
Are we talking about Marvel
All right.
Omega? That's what we were talking
about. Yeah, I was still talking about that. So I guess the only other thing that I wanted to add is that, like, you know, the bug that we thought was a bug where I couldn't walk through certain doors
because of the fat. Because you were so fat. Yes.
As it turns out, I forgot to talk to somebody in chapter 1.
Oh.
And it made like you talked to him and you were standing right next to me. And Enigma talked to him and he was standing right next to me too. But I didn't talk to him apparently successfully. Therefore, I had to go all the way back to before the Venom thing, talk to that person and play through it. And then the doors started to appear again. So if the doors aren't appearing, it's because you haven't progressed far enough in the story. Each character has their own progression in the story.
Oh, really?
Which means...
Okay.
No, that is not a good thing. Because it's exactly the same every time you do it.
Okay. Well, all right.
Which means that for every character that you want to play, you have to get through Spider-Man villains over and over again.
Okay.
And so, like, you can imagine with eventually there being like 100 characters in this game that you've seen the Spider-Man villains 100 times.
That's probably a little tedious after a while.
And then you've seen like Mr. Sinister 3 times.
Yeah.
And well, unless they're clones. And I hope there are.
There should be.
Lots and lots of clones. So I do worry about like the replay value, particularly if you can't ramp up the difficulty any. Because it's like, you can basically, I mean, like at one point I did jump into chapter 1 rather than playing the prologue with Squirrel Girl.
Okay.
And I just got sodomized. I mean, it was like Sophie Turner for all of the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. And that's who you're thinking.
That's right. Jean Grey. Yeah. Not a bad Jean Grey. I actually, because she's kind of unlikable and obnoxious in Game of Thrones. I was really, really genuinely surprised that I ended up liking her as Jean Grey. Because when I first saw that casting, I was like, oh God, she's just going to whine and be a goddamn victim for the entire fucking movie. But yeah.
Turns out
not so much. Yeah, really not a bad job. Absolutely prefer her over Famke Janssen for sure.
I do too. And it's purely visual, and I can't imagine that she does a less likable job.
Yeah.
All right. Midget Radio, do you have any other thoughts on? I know that you've been having a deep, troubling time keeping yourself focused on what the actual subject is so far. Do you have any actual thoughts on Marvel Heroes Omega?
I think what I'm curious about is whether we will see any kind of romance between Domino and Colossus in Deadpool 2.
Okay, great. Just as a closing thought, do you think that people should buy their way into the open beta? Do you think that they should download this after it is released? Or do you think they should just say, fuck it. Who cares about this game?
I can't deliver an unbiased opinion here. I think that everyone should spend $60 on the X-Men pack to play this game. That's genuinely how I feel.
Okay. I think that you guys ought to consider not spending that much money on the Founders pack. You can get into it a lot cheaper with like Deadpool, or War Machine.
I mean, if you're gonna go cheaper, go
definitely
Deadpool.
Worth downloading. Actually, War Machine's really fun. Anyway, definitely consider downloading this once it goes free to play, sometime next month, because it is really
it's fun,
an experience that you're not going to get elsewhere. And the people who made it clearly do have a lot of love for the
that is very true. It's true to the Marvel universe. And it's overall it's a good time. Especially if you're I would say especially if you're playing with other people. It's a good time.
Yeah. I had a good time. I hope that we do it again.
Same here.
Now that Blue Sky Giant's even more fucking
Jesus Christ, I know. You're like totally unresponsive now, practically. Asshole.
Yeah. Maybe he's in a coma.
Maybe.
If he's in a coma, I would feel a little bit better about him.
I would still be a little annoyed. I mean, like, you can't tell us any. Like, that's ridiculous. Come on.
It would be just like him to get into
it would and not tell anybody. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Fucking ass. Mystery Science Theater 3000, or MST3K for those who lovingly know it, was a show that ran from 1988 through 1999.
Wow, 88.
It started on KTMA TV, a local channel in Minnesota. It moved then to the Comedy Channel, then to Comedy Central, which I think might have been a rebranding. But
was it?
Sure.
I can't remember. Yeah, I honestly can't remember.
And then finally to the Science Fiction Channel before its untimely demise, right around the time that we graduated high school. I remember being really upset.
Really?
but I didn't have cable in college, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So the show was created by Joel Hodgson and who served as the original host. MST3K is a show where the host and his two robot friends, for the most part, he has other robot friends, make fun of B movies. It is now returning to the small screen on Netflix for 12 or 14 episode first season run. Midget Radio. Were you a fan of the original MST3K back in the day? Because I can't seem to get a straight answer out of you.
I would say more or less. I remember watching it. I definitely watched it with people during Jesus Christ. I mean, it's so long ago. So I remember watching MST3K during sleepovers, often at Ken McIntyre's house. So yeah,
after everyone got done with D&D.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm a fan in that sense. It's always been a show to me that I have associated with kind of like, I associate it a little bit with like Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, and Cartoon Planet and Adult Swim when it was in its infancy, because it was one of those shows that you only really discover during like late night TV when you don't have anything to do and you're not sleeping and you're just sort of flipping randomly through the channels and come upon something that is ridiculous and weird. So that's my relationship with MST3K. It is mostly sleepovers, late night. I don't have anything to do, but I wouldn't say that I watched it religiously. You know, it wasn't a show that I like planned my life around or anything. So
no, but it was
exactly.
Funny.
Yeah,
I think a large part of MST3K is being just a child of the 90s, and not
absolutely.
like we didn't really have bros back then, but like a child of the 90s who wasn't like overly let's just say in the in crowd.
For sure. Yeah.
So I mean, the formula for this is like they throw a lot of jokes at the screen, and some of them are really funny, and some of them are you're like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's also part of what made the show work, because like when they say some random thing and you're like Soylent Green, they're talking about Soylent Green. It makes you feel part of the in crowd between you, the awkward host, and these two robots. You're like, yes, I'm practically on the satellite of love already.
Yeah.
So how many episodes have you watched of MST3K?
Thus far, I'm still watching it like I would have watched it, you know, in like high school or junior high, where I watch it like a little bit at a time when it's really fucking late at night, and I don't feel like doing anything else. So I've watched all of the first episode, Reptilicus, and I've watched about half of Star Crash, because I've seen that movie before, and I wanted to see kind of what they had to say about Star Crash.
I just actually. I think I watched that today.
That's awesome.
Isn't that the one with the Hoff?
So it's he's in it, and Christopher Plummer's in it too, for some reason.
I saw Christopher Plummer, and like I don't remember seeing him in the title crawl, because of course I'm usually like doing things while I'm watching. This. But it's a fun show to sort of watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then, it really is. Yeah, it's definitely.
I remember seeing him and thinking, man, was he on Hard Times?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Why is Christopher Plummer?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I guess he just didn't have anything else to do.
Just biding his time until Star Trek 6.
Basically. Yeah. He just didn't have much else to do, which, you know,
let's say
for him.
Christopher Plummer, Sound of Music, Star Trek 6, and apparently Star Crash.
Star Crash, yeah. I don't want to forget that one.
Yeah. Well, I guess we all do things we're not proud of.
Sure. He's an actor, you know, it's a hard job. That's a hard job. So
what do you think of our new host, Jonah Heston, who is played by Jonah Ray?
I like him a lot, actually. I like him a lot. I like the show a lot. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a legit return to MST3K for me. And it's fucking funny. Like it's totally funny.
It is funny. There is one major difference as far as I can tell.
Okay.
And it's not so like, there are several differences, like the big screen cameos are definitely a divergence, but like the major difference in terms of the writing is like, this seems to be a little bit more self-referential than a lot of the other episodes of MST3K, because they refer to it as MST3K.
They do. Yeah.
They make fun of themselves a lot, in ways that are basically making fun of the format of the show, or that the show even exists. There are a lot of Netflix plugs, but I don't blame them. In modern day, if they were to do this on any channel, I would expect that there were Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it feels like it, and that feels like a pretty natural evolution for the show. I mean, had the show lasted, you know, all the way up until now, that seems like a natural growth for them, for the kind of show it is.
Do you think that self-referential nature has taken anything away from the magic that is MST3K?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, at least for me anyway, the show is always about the show was always about making fun of B movies. That's it. And if the jokes hit with that, if it's still funny, then it's a total success in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It was jarring for part of Reptilicus, but I've seen I want to say I've seen 4 episodes of this.
Okay.
And I mean, it's funny. You just can't get around it.
It is. It's hilarious. And I actually appreciate it a little bit more just because some of the references are a little bit more like timely and current. Like I know when they're looking for drugs when they're trying to drug Reptilicus or whatever, he's like, well, so let me get Walter White on the phone. Like, I like those kind of timely. It's nice that it's just nice to watch this show and for the jokes to be current. That's helpful.
Well, I mean, the jokes originally were
exactly.
Current.
Yeah. But now
they're
20.
At this point, they're 20 years old.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah. So would you put Jonah as your favorite host?
Oh, I don't know. I don't feel qualified to say because when I watched the show back in the day, it was hit and miss. It was whenever it was on. So I can't speak to which host I really like the best. I wouldn't feel that wouldn't be fair.
Okay. I get what you're saying, but I would say Mike. Knows.
Okay.
I just like. I think Mike managed to pull off lovable doofus more than Jonah or Joel, and I think that's like the least popular choice that you can have.
Joel,
I think Mike.
Oh, really? Mike? Really? I wasn't. Yeah, because I remember
there are a lot of people who are hardcore Joel.
Interesting,
fans.
really, because I do remember Joel. I don't really remember Mike very well, but I guess Joel didn't hit me. But again, I mean, the way I used to watch the show, I guess it's not surprising that I don't have a strong opinion here. So
yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, this is as much as I love this show, and I love that it at least is back for one season. It is such a bullshit.
It is.
Show.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Like it's perfect it's perfect for like 1 o'clock in the morning. I just like that's the thing. That's what MST3K makes me think about. Is back in the day, like kind of pre-internet or birth of the internet era when really all of your media was focused around the television, and it was all cable TV, and just flipping around at like 1 o'clock in the morning and finding something stupid and ridiculous and weird on. That's what this show reminds me of, and that's how I watch it. I just love it that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a way, MST3K. I mean, it started public access. Yeah. Anything can go up public access, particularly in the 80s. It was a free for all. Yes. It moved to cable just when cable was basically in its infancy. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And they had these huge blocks of time. And I mean, to run a 2-hour program.
Yeah. Yeah.
And eventually, as like science fiction channel and Comedy Central and all that stuff started to get actual things, actual shows like the Daily Show, which sadly I don't know, is that still even going?
Yeah. Trevor Noah. Yeah, it's still pretty good. He's not Jon Stewart, but he's still pretty good.
They started to get real shows. And then, like, it got bumped from there, went to sci-fi. Sci-fi eventually got real shows, too. Around that time, I think it would have been The Invisible Man. I liked that show.
I don't think I ever watched The Invisible Man.
I think, like, the two main characters had a lot of chemistry, but it got canned. Anyway, that's too bad. Sci-fi, always canning the shows.
Seriously, alphas, what the fuck? God, that still makes me mad, but yeah.
It still makes me mad too. I threw that one out there. It was an easy explosion.
It was
of emotion. That show was so
It
good.
was the best live action X-Men show until Legion, but
yeah, but I mean, Legion's still not that much better than
I don't know. I might have to give it.
It's not hand and fist above
I don't know.
Anyway, so did you like Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt? They play the part of the evil Kinga, Forrester, and Max, respectively.
Yeah. I mean, they're clearly having a good time. And I enjoy them, but even still, and even with the original MST3K, all I really wanted to do was watch the movies with the host and Crow. And that's really all I ever really wanted to see. I didn't care about the inventions or anything like that. None of the skits in between really ever hit me all that hard. But Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt, clearly they love the show and clearly they're having a good time with it. So yeah, I like them.
Good. That's basically all I like.
Yeah.
Or all I care to say. Have you clicked on the rating on MST3K?
What, yeah. Like the thumbs up or whatever? I haven't done that I used to do.
Is it a thumbs up?
I think it's like thumbs up and thumbs down, right? I used to do the stars. I haven't done anything since they converted it to whatever it is now, which I think is just thumbs up.
Have they?
Down.
Fuck those people.
I know. I don't like it. I prefer the star system. I don't like thumbs up, thumbs down, but
I don't want to give somebody a full thumbs up if it's a 3.
Right? Yeah, I don't really either. Yeah, I feel like my relationship to movies is more complicated than up or down.
Yeah.
It's at least a 5-star system.
It is at least. And we commonly give half stars.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, if you really want to get down to it, we're probably looking at a 10-point scale, but still.
But then we'd still be giving halves. And then we'd be on a 20.
Yeah.
And you'd still be giving halves.
Yeah.
Just, I give this 4 stars.
Yeah, I would too. I like it. I hope they continue with it for sure.
All right. Well, that was a good conversation.
You know what would be nice actually is if I would like to see them explore later movie, because we still like I don't know about you, but it seems to me like the direct to video market is at least is as vibrant as it was, in like the 60s and 70s and 80s, if not more so now. So I wouldn't mind them seeing them visit some more like modern era cheap ass direct to video kind of movies. And obviously what I'm specifically thinking of is all of the movies Steven Seagal makes right now. Though I know that MST3K generally focuses on like horror and sci-fi kind of stuff, but still.
Usually, yeah. They did a Western in this one, and they've done I guess what's supposed to be a disaster movie, but it's
yeah. Yeah. So I wouldn't, I feel like that's territory they could maybe explore that would make it, I don't know, that'd be a little fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think for the most part, and this is maybe sad, maybe it's a prejudiced opinion, but I think that most of the Steven Seagal movies are better paced, and though they're not well written, they are better produced than most of the things you see on MST3K.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
So, and I think they probably cost too much.
That might be. Yeah, that might be. That's probably an issue.
Because I mean, you basically have. I mean, you can claim fair use all day, but if you're gonna just
there's no fucking way. Film, there's no way
you wouldn't win that one. You wouldn't.
I can't.
So like, I really do hope that we can get a few seasons out of this for sure.
Absolutely.
It seems to me, particularly since a lot of the production cost was clearly provided by just the fans.
Yeah.
Because like this was all started with a Kickstarter. They raised like $14 million.
God, that's ridiculous. God.
children of the 90s have had 20 years to earn income and job experience. And now they have money and they can spend it on
That is
shit.
true. They care a lot more about MST3K than most other things.
I would rather watch MST3K than the news most
Me
of the
too.
time.
Me too.
Anyway, I hope they find success. I wouldn't mind seeing some more modern stuff. I would, man, if they could get some of the like direct to sci-fi movies.
Yeah, but like I feel like it's a delicate line because I mean obviously a lot of that shit is almost can be intentionally campy, like the Asylum movies in particular. A lot of that stuff is intentionally campy and stuff like I don't want to see them watch Sharknado, you know, stuff that's intentionally designed to be ridiculous. So
I don't know, but like there are a couple where it's like, well, I mean, some of it, I mean, even in what I'm thinking of, there's a little bit of intentional camp because it's like, we are going to assemble a team of 6 scientists. We have a blonde, a brunette, a redhead, and an Asian.
Yeah.
2 guys. Don't worry, they'll die. And they're going to go through a time portal and they're going to go to Raptor Planet. I thought you said it was a time portal. Shouldn't it be Earth? No, it's Raptor Planet. And like, I remember those. And like, I don't remember their name clearly, but like, if you put that on, or if you put, you know, like, you know, stuff that they review on like Best of the Worst, which are like the off-brand Terminator, or whatever. All of that stuff they could do almost anything. I don't have a problem with the 60s, 70s, 80s.
No, neither do I.
Camp movies.
There's plenty of them. So hopefully they'll get into some. I don't know. I would like to see some action movies. Like I would like to see a lot of Brandon Lee's stuff before he did The Crow, because he was in like Laser Force and like just ridiculous, terrible B. Like honestly, almost any like B grade action movie, particularly from the 80s and the early 90s, I would fucking love to see. But that's because I love those movies. But yeah.
Cynthia.
Yeah, give me some Cynthia Rothrock movies. Give me some Richard Norton. Give me some Michael Dudikoff and American Ninja. I would love to watch all of those on MST3K.
On the bright side, if we actually got to see Cynthia Rothrock, we would actually be able to watch a movie that Cynthia Rothrock was in.
Right? I did know.
It is impossible.
Did know she has 2 on Amazon right now that are
I've looked too, but like usually it's like she's playing the older general because people will bring her in to play a bit part and they're just like, look at that. She used to be a badass.
It's depressing.
She was like, I've seen some of the stunt work. She was legitimately talented.
She knows what she's doing. Yeah, she knows how to. I mean, she was originally, from what I understand, she was originally making movies in Hong Kong, in like Hong Kong action movies in like the 80s and stuff, where they gave a shit. They gave a real shit about stunt work and fight scene choreography before finding any kind of success in American films, and before kind of leading on her own. She's such a weird actress because it's almost like she's by herself in this success that she found in the 80s and the 90s in leading her own, certainly B grade martial arts action movies. I mean, there's really no one else at that time. I don't know. She's just kind of a weird blip in the legacy.
I think she gets a lot of respect from people like us who didn't actually see her movies at the time, but have been able to look back and been like, why wasn't this? Well,
I definitely did. I saw her movie. Like I would rent Cynthia Rothrock movies at Blockbuster when I was like in junior high school. Because I love martial arts movies, and so I would rent stuff like American Ninja, and stuff like Rage and Honor and Rage and Honor 2. I definitely saw some of her stuff, at least when it hit video. But yeah, she's kind of a weird she's a weird blip in the history of martial arts cinema, and that she's kind of a big deal female action star, and she's totally alone in that realm. And then after she kind of stops making movies in like, God, Jesus, like probably the mid to late 90s, there's just nothing until you get to Gina Carano, and we all know where Gina Carano is, where she just makes one movie and then decides to co-star.
Not enough.
I know, but she could take over.
Well, then they're like people like flirting with Ronda Rousey doing the thing, and you're like, I'd still watch that. I saw her in Fast, whatever fuck terrible number that was.
Well, no, she was Expendables 3.
It was Expendables 3. Yeah.
Well, we'll all watch this Amy Johnston girl in Lady
That movie
Blood
had
fight
too many.
out. We will the Wednesday night. I'm going to say it right now, whether you agree to it or not. But the Wednesday night gentlemen are going to watch Lady Blood fight when that becomes possible, and we are going to review it.
Who is that?
Amy Johnston. I have no idea who she is. But it's girl blood sport. So
okay. I mean, it's not real hard for me to
I figured
shit like that. I used to go to Blockbuster with Leo or whatever, and we would rent what looked to be the worst movies possible, or whatever that store was that used to have like 10 or 25 cent
Hastings
rentals.
Yeah, Hastings had that for a long time.
You go there, you watch like Mafia versus Ninja.
Yeah.
And what a classic. I would pay money to the Kickstarter to get MST3K.
Oh, definitely. That. Yeah, it does. Yeah, with their focus on like on a lot of horror and sci-fi stuff, I do feel like they're missing just a rich field of B movie action flicks.
But think of how many B movies are made every year. I mean, arguably, we made
The Hunter. They should review The Hunter.
They're gonna need a lot of skits.
a lot to fill that out.
But like, there's so many gems out there. They'd have to be on perpetually for the next 10 years, and I'm not opposed to that.
Me either. I'd watch it. I'm happy.
Do you see how many writers are in the writing credits?
I didn't actually. I did not. I don't think I watched all the credits.
I think they're like, one of them that I looked at, I think had 12 writers.
Wow.
And you're like, wow, that is literally just a bunch of dudes, mostly dudes. There might be some chicks in a room watching this and making shit jokes, and watching it and making shit jokes. And they probably have like an intern or 2 or 3, and they all just like feverishly type down all of the madness.
I bet.
And then there's some research. They watch it again. There's more research. They probably don't bother.
I wonder how intimately familiar they are with some of these movies.
But like, I've been watching, and some of the jokes are actually just nonsense comments, and they don't pay off for like 10 minutes. And then you see it and you're like,
it's pretty great.
It's terrible.
Oh, that's great.
MST3K, everybody should watch it.
I agree.
All right. I'm going to say that subject over. That's podcast.
All right, podcast over. Bye.
That has been episode 21 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please feel free to like or subscribe to our channel. If you've enjoyed our banner, head on over to our Facebook page and give us a like there. And we'll see you on episode number 22 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen.
Bye-bye.